What's up, people? What's going on? What's going on? I'm back. What's going on? Getting set. 1 second here. And pause this. What's going on? Back. What's going on? All right, cool. Sound good? Volumes are good. All right, what's up, Elevator? What's up, Terry? What's up, D-Man? What's going on? Everybody hit that like button as you come in. Let's definitely get into this. What's up, Roman Stardust? How y'all doing? All right. Push this here. Skyfall, what's going on? Moshef, Savage, Roman, Lee, Unknown, what's going on? Kill Streak, Spartan X, what's going on? How y'all doing? Oh man. Oh my god, let me get these little notes here that I got. Break it down again 1 second. All right. So you guys already know what's going on. You guys already know what was stated. And you guys already know Microsoft supposedly is releasing 4 consoles. 4 consoles for 2019 and 2020. Sub dedicated server. Sub Carlos. Savage Uger, what's going on? But 4 consoles, ladies and gentlemen, for 2019 and 2020. Now, I have went through quite a bit of things here. I went through quite a bit of like information over the past couple of months regarding the next gen consoles, and I've always, just was like, okay, whatever. This is this, that, and the third. And when you look at this, information, all right, now the source is all the same. It's a random YouTuber. I want you to understand that this is a random YouTuber saying all this stuff, and he so happens to be an editor. And this information blew up, but a lot of people are saying that he, is on point with his news. Now, if it's true, right? If all this is true and Microsoft really is launching 4 consoles for 2019 and 2020, then that means that the new console, without a doubt and without a question, is most certainly is going to be oversaturated in the market for sure. If Microsoft is releasing a slim, because I think that's what they're doing, right? They're doing a less cost-efficient Xbox. They're doing the diskless Xbox that we covered a long time ago. It was a while back, but we covered the diskless Xbox that was dropping. And then after the diskless Xbox, there was 2 others. Now, the 2 other consoles we've been talked about, which was the Xbox, Scarlet, which we thought was going to be one. And then after the Scarlet, we have a streaming-based one. But they're also talking about another one that was for streaming, which was the less cost-efficient one. Again, it's just too many consoles, way too many consoles. And that right there can easily confuse a consumer, easily confuse someone who does not know, what they're getting themselves into with these consoles, especially, parents who work 24/7, don't have time to look up these consoles. They mostly go off of what their kids want for Christmas. This is too much. If Microsoft really is going to release these many consoles, it's going to be dumb. Like, look at the marketing of the Xbox One S and the Xbox Xbox One X. Notice how on the box, consumers automatically get confused with that console off the bat, not just by the name, but by what's on the box. On the box, they simply tell you 4K capable and 4K X amount of things. The casual does not know that one legit can do 4K and the other one cannot. The other one just more of a player and whatnot. They don't know this stuff. They don't. So for Microsoft to literally take a gamble and toss these many new consoles out here into the actual market with no, problems whatsoever, it's kind of stupid. I don't understand how Microsoft could do it to begin with. I don't. Microsoft as a whole is all over the place. Just all over the place. And we're going into a new, we're getting close to the new year. Now, if we're getting close to the new year and we know for a fact that Sony is talking about revealing the PS5, but we also know for a fact that we have major releases for 2019 on Sony's behalf, Sony's in a much better shape in that regard, because notice they're showing you something new hardware wise, but they're also showing you something new software wise. You know, you're getting something still for the platform, regardless of whether it's on the, whether it's on the Xbox or not. You know what I'm saying? You're getting something from Sony. Sony is definitely showing you something. They're giving you something. And we do know third-party games are coming out in 2019, 2020. There's a lot of games that's coming out. But when you look over at the Xbox side, it's mostly third-party games that we're clinging on to. Third-party versus the first party in Sony. And then we're looking at the actual hardware-wise. Microsoft is mostly talking about banking up. Now, there is rumors and whatnot that Microsoft could have a much more powerful console than that of Sony. But if you think about it, see, people think this is putting pressure on Sony. With Microsoft having a stronger Xbox over the PlayStation 5, that's not really putting pressure on Sony. That's actually a repeat of what's happening now. The Xbox One X by default is more powerful than the PS5 or PS4. I'm sorry, and it's more powerful than the PS4 and Pro. So if the Xbox One X is more powerful than the PS4 and Pro, then, you know what I'm saying? What's the point? It has all the things, ahead of it. It has more power. It has more, X amount of things, supposedly. And yet Sony is still winning and destroying the market. What's up, Carlos? Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, excuse me. Credibility, valid source, and fanboy logic are two different analogies, but these clowns, I'll tell you, comedy, Gen Gold, facts. That's true. Now, what's up, Halo Jim? What's going on? How you doing? Now, looking at the information, again, we're gonna have to look at this information. We're gonna have to really break this down. Hey, Don, we're gonna have to really break this down, man. Because some of you think I'm coming off as harsh in my last video. I didn't even come off harsh at all. I just said it, man. This information that's coming out now, I could have said something completely different. I could have, but the way some people act when they tell this information, regardless of it being a PlayStation or an Xbox, some of these dudes act like when you ask them a simple question regarding, like, why are you acting like this towards this? Why aren't you being more, I don't know, hypocritical towards this? Like, I'm saying, like, why aren't you being more negative towards certain things of this, such as the market being over flooded with consoles? And they go, well, it's new consoles, it's no big deal. And it's like, that's not an answer I would want to hear, especially if I'm a consumer who's, come on, think about it. I want you all to put yourselves in the shoes of a casual who spend most of their time on Xbox. What's up? What's up, Vicky? What's up, Craig? But I want you to put yourself in the shoes of Microsoft and really think about it for one good second. If you play mostly on Xbox this generation, are you really going to sit back here and you're going to want to hear that Microsoft is releasing 4 consoles right now and going into 2019 and 2020 after you've already sat here and played your consoles and whatnot already? Yeah, I'm saying, after you already sat here, you've been waiting for games like your Halo, your Gears, and your Forza, and whatever else new. Are you really like sitting here wanting new hardware after that? After Microsoft already promised you, X amount of things. After Microsoft even claimed that this is the best lineup in Xbox history. Remember these claims? Why would we want more hardware right now? This is not a smart decision. It's not a smart decision. Releasing multiple consoles this early, going into 2019, 2020, when you're about to release a new console, the actual complete upgrade in 2020, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. It never will make sense. That many consoles, and plus the new one in 2020. Now, the new one in 2020, we knew for facts, we knew for the longest that the new Xbox that's coming out in 2020, 2019 was going to be the star of the show. All right, we knew it was going to be the star of the show. We knew Microsoft was going to try to do something different with the traditional one and the streaming one, for them to actually have their service be the talk of the show, so to speak. But with that on, that whole situation and on the surface, I'm saying, that infrastructure out there, just look at what they're doing now. It's like they're with it, but they're also trying to still nickel and dime you. They're really trying to nickel and dime you with the Xboxes. It's sad. Think about it. You have a less cost-efficient Xbox that they're coming out with And then you have another one coming out before the original, and that's the discless one. Now, what did I say about the discless Xbox? What did we all say about the discless Xbox? That the discless Xbox was going to get you ready. It was going to prep you for the inevitable discless Xbox that was going to drop with the Xbox Scarlet, and that was going to be the discless console that was going to be streaming only. Those consoles were going to happen regardless. We were going to have a streaming one, but notice how we got a discless one. And what was the comments that I got, people? What was the comments? One dude said, oh, the discless Xbox for PlayStation users. Yeah. That's right. One dude said that the discless Xbox is for PlayStation users. How is a discless Xbox for a PlayStation user? How does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. A discless Xbox for a PlayStation user? Now, I'm telling you, man, people are making too many excuses for these companies. Too many excuses. Some are calling them brilliant. XMod things what they're doing. Every single thing Microsoft does from this point forward, I guess, is brilliant. Brilliant to these people. It's not brilliant. It's stupid, and it confuses the consumer. It's stupid. For you to say that Scarlet, and I'm breaking this down based on what I read, if Scarlet, right, is not one console that's going to be traditional and the other one's going to be streaming based, no. If Scarlet is part of an infrastructure or a new set of principles that they're going to follow where they have multiple consoles underneath a certain category and belt under different tiers and varieties, that just confuses everybody. If you're going to have the powerhouse console, which is going to be codenamed the Anaconda, the main console, be your traditional one, and then as you scroll down the page, as you scroll down the different selections, and you have one be a streaming one, you'll have one be a discless one, and then you'll have another one just be a super cheap version of the Xbox One S, that is way too confusing. That is way too confusing for somebody who is just getting into this market and doesn't know anything. What's up, Blue, Nathaniel? What's going on? Blackbeard, Ian, what's up? How you doing? But as you scroll down there, that's way too confusing. That's too many branches. That's too many things. You know what I'm saying? It's too many. Oh, my God. Shout out to Carlos. See, that's like the funniest troll that's going on when it comes to Anaconda. Everybody keeps making fun of that damn name with that song. And I quote, hold on, and I quote, my Anaconda don't want one unless you got games, hon. There you go. I said it. All right. Ryan, who buys your phones for you? That'll be me, sir. Going down. All right. I caught up. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. If Scarlet's going to be the base principles to break everything down, don't ask me why I did that, okay? Don't ask me why I did that. Just don't ask me why I did it. Don't ask me why. You break it down. I've been hearing that all week. Just stop. When you have all these consoles going to be out here under different tiers and they're all going to serve a different function in the market. That just screams disaster for me, guys. It screams disaster. That's way too many consoles. Way too many. If you like that, fine. You could be okay with it. I guess you can go, yeah, that's awesome. I'll accept it. But I agree with King Blood Gaming on Twitter. I agree for sure. If Microsoft is going to release 4 consoles, that is absolutely ridiculous and absurd. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's too much. It's too much. You deserve the hater. No. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. And, you know, it's stupid. It's stupid to me. You didn't pay the bills. Looking at the thing, right? Just looking at it. All right. Looking at it. If we gotta look at it also for a long-term perspective as well. How long will this last for all consoles? Will Sony even take note of this and start doing this with the PlayStation 5, where we'll have different tiers of consoles? Think about it. Do you guys really want the PS4 to be like the lowest end tier? Them to come out with another PlayStation 4? It could be a slim, right? And they'll probably have it be the same, position as like the base PS4 slim that's already out, where it doesn't have an optical port. Let's say that's going to be the foundation for next generation. We have 4 PlayStation 5 or PlayStation platforms. One's going to be the extra slim, right? The one that's going to be for us, the lower tier, the super low tier. And then you'll have the PS4 Pro, which will still be on the market, supposedly. And then let's say Sony comes out with a PS5 and, of course, another streaming-based console, just like Microsoft, to go head-to-head. Are you guys okay with that? Of course not. You don't want that because that's stupid. That's too many options. That's too much. That's stupid. Doesn't work. It won't work. It won't work at all, especially when you don't have the compelling software. Now, Sony's got the compelling software. Nintendo's got the compelling software. Microsoft does have new studios, but we haven't seen anything from the new studios in terms of what they're working for Microsoft. We do know their track record. Some of these studios are good. They do have some good studios that are underneath their helm now, but we don't know what they're going to be making. We don't. We got so many people saying unlimited budget, and then information comes out to be not true, and then supposedly it is true. So, again, it's a waiting game. It's literally the Xbox One all over again. It's a waiting game. Even though we've been waiting since 2015. 2015. So, again, it's all out there. Whether it's true or not, and whether we get it, remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. But that is what's really going on right now. And some people just don't want to accept it. And it's fine. I mean, it's okay. We don't have to accept it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to jump out of our seats and accept all this. But the reality is, again, Microsoft. Oh my God, Microsoft. Why is it so hard for Microsoft just to get the basics right? Why? And some people might go, they got the basics right. It's more options. Because I already know I've seen some people actually bring that up. There's nothing wrong with options. You see, if we're talking about options, let's say 1 or 2, like this console's cheaper, this one's more of a higher end. Sure. I mean, there's nothing wrong with options. But we're talking about 4 different consoles that serve 4 different uses on the market. That's a problem. That's nothing but confusion, especially when you put them under the same Scarlet name. They're not going to be branded Scarlet, but they're all going to be on the market and serve a purpose in regards to Xbox Scarlet or Project Scarlet. They're going to do this. And this is all for Game Pass. I want y'all to really think about this. They talking about xCloud. This is going to be a big push for Game Pass. I promise you. This is what they're doing for xCloud as well. For them to stream all their games to every device, each and every device, even though people don't want to admit it. It's funny how when people bring that up too, right? They go, well, that's up to Sony. So, okay, if it's up to Sony and Sony was to say yes, take a big cut from Microsoft, what does that leave the Xbox? If Sony was to say yes. Now, I don't think Sony would say yes and allow Microsoft to sell their games on their platform, but if they were to take a huge check, I mean, hey, who's to say they wouldn't? Who says they wouldn't? Yes, I do remember that. I'm about to get into that as well. These mini consoles take us directly back to, if I remember correctly, it was 2012, or actually, no, it wasn't even 2012. It was 2010. When did Black Ops 2 come out, people? It was around 2010, right? Call of Duty Black Ops 2, around 2010. Back in 2010, we had Steam machines. We had 3 Steam machines. And the way they, advertised the Steam machines, they all serve a purpose. Kind of very similar to what Microsoft is doing with these 4 new consoles. 2012? That's what Black Ops 2 came out. 2012? Okay. Well, 2012. In 2012, we have 4 consoles. In 2012, actually, we had 3 Steam machines in 2012. With 3 Steam machines for 2012, they all served a different purpose. You had the premium one, which was the high-end one that was supposed to be on par with gaming PCs. Remember that? Then there was the intermediate one, which was for kind of the same people, but they didn't want to break your budget, so to speak. And then they had the low end beginner style one, which was there just to get you into the consoles. The problem with those consoles, they didn't have the games that was on the market that Sony had at all. But that's what they did. They had 3 Steam machines. That looks very similar. That kind of model, if you look at that flow chart, is very similar to what Microsoft is doing. 4 consoles in this case, though. You got one that's super cheap. You got one that's diskless that serves a purpose aside from gaming. It has a bigger purpose in terms of streaming. And then you have the actual full-on upgrade, which is the Xbox Scarlet, so to speak. And then you'll have another version, which is another iteration of the Scarlet. That's what they have. 4 different options, very similar to Steam machines. Very similar. Excuse me about that. Carlos Fernandez, Xbox and his fat boys do not compute common sense. Facts. That's what I read. Facts. All right. You dumb as fuck buy all 4 of them. Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Some people got called idiots because they're saying that. Why would you buy all 4 of them? That's dumb. You don't have to buy all 4 of them. See, that's the damage control going around, guys. If you don't have to buy all 4 of them because they might not all be for you, something like that. I'm like, listen. This is getting absurd. This doesn't mean a casual wouldn't buy all 4 of them. This doesn't mean a casual would not buy, 1 or 2 or whatnot of them. Especially when you got YouTubers out here that are really trying to get views and all that. I mean, people won't buy these. People won't buy these consoles. And then they're going to feel stupid when they realize, oh, wait, this console is meant for this generation. These 2 are meant for this generation. Only this one is trying to, do a few things that the next gen will do in terms of streaming. And the other one on this side, that's the full-fledged upgrade going into the future. So a lot of people don't do these information. They don't do the information. They don't do information at all. They don't do the information, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to be I don't want to come off as negative. I don't. I'm excited for next gen for sure. Always been excited for next gen. I was wondering when we're going to get it, when we're going to get over this big hump that we have for next gen consoles, especially with the PlayStation 4. PS4 is great. The Xbox One X is great. The problem with the Xbox One X, it just doesn't have the games. If it had the games, it would have been a fine console, And that's the problem. Looking at the PlayStation 4 going with the PS4 Pro and looking at 2019. Now, you guys notice I haven't really been talking about next gen consoles as much. I've been more focused on the actual software perspective of the current gen going into 2019, which is why I said that 2019 looks to be one of the best years for PlayStation. I've said it numerous times. It's one of the best years. Days Gone, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't really been pushing the hardware. Foxy, what's going on? What's up, Game Forte? Foxy Games UK in the chat, people. What's going on? Guys, hit that like button. But going back to what I'm saying about the hardware and software wise, I haven't really been saying much. Haven't been saying much when it comes to the software and hardware. I haven't said much about that. I've been saying mostly software. Software has definitely been on my mind the most part. And with software being on the mind, oh shit, phone went off. But with software being the main thing on the mind there going into the future, there was just no reason to talk about hardware. It just didn't feel right. I didn't feel comfortable talking about hardware. I just didn't, and I saw a lot of people really putting a lot of faith into the leaks and the specs. And granted, yeah, I do believe some of the leaks that have come out, but I just haven't reported on them. It's like, it's pointless. It's kind of pointless right now to talk about them because right now we got too much on our plate. We still got games for this gen. It felt like people were missing this generation for or in favor of the new specifications for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. Hey Fox, if you want a link, I'll send you the link for sure. But the systems, like I'm saying, we're prioritizing one thing over the other. We don't need that. We don't need it. We just don't need it. We really don't need that. We don't need to prioritize one thing over another. We need a perfect balance for sure for PlayStation games as well as the hardware. There's a time and place to talk about the hardware. I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't worth it. I didn't feel like it was worth it. Slow-mo, what's up? Spectre's up in there. What's up, yo? Said I'll go on. uh, it's too much, man. It just I don't know. It's just too much. You tend to get blown out with so many damn rumors and so much speculation. Your mind just gets blown out with so much. There's so much going on in the market. And with this information, I'm dropping 4 consoles this early. You know, it's too much. It's way too much. I don't believe it. I just don't want to. I don't want these many consoles. The moment we have these many consoles on the market, it just ruins it. You know. He said, "I can't wait to buy the new Xbox Q number 4,440." Hey, real talk. Hey, real talk. Real talk. That is something that we're going down here. No, that's sad too. But no, that's real talk. That's real talk. So many different consoles, so many different iterations for that all will have a different purpose. Like, come on, man. So let's say they have one for games. Yeah, this one prioritizes games. This one prioritizes software. This one prioritizes apps. Like, that's stupid. I don't like that. I don't like how each particular console serves a purpose. Gaming should just be simple. If this, what I'm saying, a simple device that can do all these things. If it can't do all these things, then so be it. Let's just move on. It should be about the games. Features are just the icing on the cake. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. Features have been the icing on the cake. Games make up the entire cake and the hardware. It's always been like that. And some people just don't want to accept it. He said that's the number for Slomo. I mean, I don't know. Slomo was interested in the dolls. So, I mean, take that as you will. I'm always thinking jabs is Slomo. That's my homie, though. But, that's what's going on. That's what's most certainly going on. It's sad. No, it's too much. It's just too much. I'm happy. I'm happy, though. I'm happy for next gen. Like y'all can clearly see I'm happy for next gen. I'm excited for next gen. I'm excited for what possibilities we can get. With new hardware, there's always the possibility that you can get a new game. You can get better versions of games, better multiplats. Obviously, you can get games that started off as nothing from the previous gen and actually get built upon. You guys remember our reaction when we saw Uncharted 3? Like Uncharted, actually, let me rephrase that. When we saw Uncharted 1, 2, 3 on the PlayStation 3, and then we finally got that epic reveal for Uncharted 4 for the PlayStation 4. You guys remember that? Remember that epic reaction we had? We were just like, we gasped, like, oh my God, that's a massive jump from what we got from the PS3. Remember that? That's the type of reaction we all should have. We're going to have by default when it comes to new hardware. New games, new software, new services, all that is going to make you jump out your seat for that. And the same thing can be said about Halo. Same thing can be said about Gears from the 360. You're going to jump out your seat for new hardware regardless. The new hardware is going to make you look, at these games differently. But that is how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. And the situation continues just to get, to go as is. So, 1 second. Let me turn this down. System here. All right, my bad. But, that information, you're going to jump out your seat regardless. So, I think we're all just being a little too much. We're doing a little too much here. A little too much. I see more people talking about specifications and more people putting so much faith into these specifications instead of actually looking at it from a perspective that it makes sense in terms of the consumers. That's what I'm about to say. We're too much of that. You said happy for Zaire. Oh my God. Probably not. Oh no, the fox. The fox invaded the stream. The fox invaded the stream. Hide your kids. Run.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, it's good to be here, man. Thanks for the invite, bro.
Yeah. Same thing goes to you. I done fell asleep. Had a long ass day from work, but shit.
I was just about to jump on Smash, but you can wait another hour. I'm not doing anything tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're gonna relax. You're gonna relax for sure.
I'm done with work for until the new year now. I'm finished.
Oh, cool, cool, good for you. More time with your kid, and everybody. That's great.
Yeah, man.
That's what's
So how
up,
are
man.
you? How are you, bro? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. Just chilling, sitting back. Got a few things set up, future wise and whatnot. Just been doing a lot of things outside, but yeah, that's why my content's kind of been slow. Job, everything, just been cutting into it. But I haven't had a chance to game as much at all, neither.
You
It's
know, I
crazy.
sent you a link to the live stream that we just done, me and Mads, right?
Did you? Yeah, I sent you a message when you guys were live. When I got your message
Actually, no,
about it.
no, no. I didn't send you a link, but I sent you the heads up.
Yeah,
But
yeah, you sent me the heads up, and I was knocked out when you sent that.
oh, you were
Yeah.
sleeping. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was asleep. I was knocked out all the way to the stream.
Well, you work hard, so sleep you must.
Yep. Hey, I appreciate that though. You guys were good. That was good. That was a good stream for sure. Most certainly a great stream. Guys, if you want to talk, you want to hear PS5 news, go definitely check out Fox's channel here. He and Mad's Game, another cool dude cool with here on YouTube. They broke down the PS5 and the Xbox. So definitely. Apparently the new Xbox could be more powerful than the PlayStation 5. So take that as you will. Let's see. Carlos Fernandez, he said, yup, the future of gaming has arrived. Buy all four and play the same games. Clearly, the possibilities are mind-blowing. Psych. These new consoles, what do you have to say about these new consoles, man? 4 consoles, they each serve a pivotal role when it comes to Microsoft. 4 different ones. You have one, which is your main upgrade, which is your Xbox One X, so to speak. Like basically that would be what the Xbox One X is, a big upgrade, right? You'll have one that's kind of serves as like a mid/streaming based one, and then you have the other one, which are lower tier. One is super cheap for consumer mainstream, and the other one was a discless one. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. Look, I'm all for choice. Straight away, it's a matter of choice. Not every one of these SKUs is going to appeal to all types of gamer. You can have the premium level gamer with the disposable income. More money than they know what to do with. They'll probably opt for Anaconda, that level of power. Then you have people like the average gamer. I'm not going to say casual because that's such a broad term, but your average gamer who doesn't really want to spend more than $400 on a console. They'll probably opt for Lockhart or even the streaming device if they're super, super, super casual. I use casual in that sense because really you don't care too much about the getting the premium quality if you're prepared to stream, because everybody knows that will never be better than playing natively. Well, not in this decade anyway.
Right. Okay. See, I looked at it as being confusing for a consumer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they all serve a different role and they all do certain things differently. But if you're going to have these mini consoles on the market, especially at the same time and in such a short span, it's not even 2 years. It's going to be literally like a year in between. That's going to be the gap. Because remember, two are going to drop in 2019, and then you have the actual gap of 1 year for the actual big upgrade, which is the Xbox Scarlet, the actual big Scarlet, the big one, and the streaming one.
Ryan, can I just clarify something with you?
Yeah.
You said something about 4 consoles between
2019 and 2020. Yeah.
Which
so 2 for 2019 and 2 in 2020.
What are these consoles? How did you get to 4?
Yeah, I think. See, that's what. Okay. Well, this is where we get to it. All right, ready?
What are the 4 consoles? What are they?
Yeah. Now there's more than just one code name. There's more. There is Project Lockhart, which you already know. There's Project hold on.
Anaconda.
There's Project Anaconda, and Maverick. Then there's other ones such as Project Roma.
I never heard of that one. Is that a new one from today? Because that's above my.
It's all from the same. This is all from the same source. You see, the problem with this information, and this is why I didn't really believe it to begin with, and I didn't jump out my seat with it at all. I actually wasn't going to do, half the streams here, but y'all kind of woke me up with your streams. The information about this comes from a random YouTuber who happens to be an editor, and this editor, okay,
who is this person? Who are we talking about? We're talking about Ben.
His name's Brad Sams. That's his name.
Oh, sorry, not. I was going to say Ben Sams. Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
I'm sorry, Brad. Whether you're listening to this or not, it's always rude to get someone's name wrong. So
Yeah.
Brad Sams.
But the information goes as follows: you have Anaconda, ready? Anaconda and Lockhart are ones we already know. You have Maverick, which, if I'm not mistaken, Maverick is the actual slim one. No, that's the discless one. So that's the discless one, which is Maverick. After Maverick, you have Danta and Anthem and Roma. That's what the hell this dude has. All these names. See what I'm saying? It's weird. You have Roma, Maverick, Lockhart, Danta, Anthem, and Anaconda. This just seems like random names just being thrown out here.
Yeah, but look at it like this. Look at it like this. There's such odd names, so they have to be real. Who would think?
Such weird names. I'm saying this sounds like somebody just picking names out of a hat. Now, if you go to the actual news, it says as follows: Microsoft said to be working on 2 traditional next-gen Xbox Scarlet consoles. One, codenamed Anaconda, is the next-gen equivalent of the X, which we already talked about. The Lockhart is the Xbox Scarlet, also, but it's pretty much the Xbox One S version of it. Less expensive option for the consumer for mainstream gamers. Both are set for 2020. Before either traditional console launches, Microsoft is planning to release a discless Xbox codenamed Maverick. This isn't part of the Scarlet line and will arrive in 2019. Finally, Microsoft is also prepping another revision of the Xbox One S. This version of the console will be redesigned to reduce manufacturing costs and focus largely on xCloud streaming, but it will still have the traditional disk drive. And this information you guys can see, I'm going to put it on screen for you all. So you guys can see.
Do you know what's good? Do you know what's good about all of this, though? Do you know what the main benefit of all of this is? What is people are talking about Xbox. This is some mind share for Microsoft, because I mean, what were we talking about a week ago and the week before that? And it was all PS5.
How they have no games. There's no effort on the market. They're not doing this, that, and the third. They're giving you all these ridiculous PR excuses. I mean, the list goes on of stuff that we talked about with Microsoft. You know, the list goes on. Microsoft clearly wasn't, doing anything. And we talked about these things.
I don't think they're going to drop those 4 consoles within close proximity to each other's dates, though. I think that they're going to stagger these releases. I feel that's
what I said too.
The lower end entry level Xbox Lockhart is going to be their main next gen console, and the Anaconda is going to be the super premium one, which is not going to sell anywhere near as many consoles as Lockhart, just like the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X model. The price obviously differential makes a huge difference to a lot of people. Right. But as long as Microsoft don't bombard you with all of these consoles at one time, they do stagger them in the way I believe they will, and they market them appropriately, then I don't think there'll be much consumer confusion, because Microsoft are really treating their product much like a PC these days, whereas Sony wouldn't really get away with that. If Sony had a PS5 and a PS5 Pro and a PS5 Excelsior all releasing within like 18 months, that would be harmful for Sony, because they're saying that their console is a true next-gen console, whereas Microsoft are saying, hey, we're going to obviously have a next-gen console, but we're also going to have these tiered consoles, which is going to be part of a family. Well, Sony are not interested in the family. Sony interested
they're more interested in just like one, Sony, 2 systems they need to, and just a bunch of software. Right.
Well, Sony are really interested in releasing a base console and then its offspring, which we call the Pro. But they're not interested in having a family gathering and saying, hey, let's all, so many options. But I haven't got a problem with this. I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people expected me to come out negatively about all of these different consoles, but I say, if it appeals to your price, your price level, that what you can afford, then you shouldn't be looking at Anaconda. So it shouldn't really confuse you, because you'll only be buying into the Xbox that you are prepared to pay for.
Okay.
Like the PC, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Let me get into this real quick. This is from Killstreak 10140. Appreciate it. He said they need Project Make more games. They have a console with no games.
Yeah,
Appreciate
but people
that.
are talking
Thank you.
about now, aren't they? Yes, they have no
Yeah.
games now, but we're talking about 2020. You're going to see games in 2020. If people think that there's going to be no game releases by 2020, then I don't know what planet they're living on. At the
Well, I
moment,
mean,
from
the track
2016,
record.
let me just qualify.
Oh, yeah, you go. You go. I'm sorry.
So from the end of 2016 to maybe now, I appreciate that Microsoft's output has been lackluster in terms of the quality and output of the games. Yes, you've got the likes of Forza Horizon 4, but these are far and few in between quality releases. Everything else has been subpar. I think even Xbox gamers would agree with that. It's not been the level of games they expected. Okay, it's
Mm,
one thing to have all of these enhancements for your Xbox One X, but you want games built from the ground up to take advantage of the hardware. And I don't think Xbox gamers
absolutely.
really had much of that this gen. Maybe Red Dead Redemption 2 answered a few questions about what this thing is capable of in terms of outputting an image, but
Hmm.
technically they've been sold short this generation. Anyone who invested in the Xbox One S and Xbox One X. So I do have a lot of empathy for these people. I'm one of them. I purchased both the One S and the Xbox One X. Xbox One X no longer with me, but I still got the S.
Right.
And I empathize with people who really bought into the Microsoft vision this gen. Hopefully, Microsoft can, make it up to those people and offer them something that fits around their price point, to their level of power, to the expectations of the price point they're willing to pay for. And the choice could never be a bad thing if it's handled correctly.
Absolutely. I agree for sure. If you're gonna like the thing with these consoles, like it's insane. Now we got so many that are serving a purpose, right? So many ones that are serving different purpose, with one being the big upgrade. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of a casual who clearly doesn't do what we do, where we actually like take our time to break it
I
down.
can't relate. I can't relate to casuals, man. That's gonna be hardware in their
Yeah,
shoes.
I want you.
I'm gonna
I
end up with
know that's
bunions.
where the problem lies too. It's confusion, like the big confusion. When we look at it, we just had the Xbox One X that recently launched, and after the Xbox One X, they were going to release even more in 2019. So we have two more coming in 2019. That's part of the Scarlet Vision, and then you'll have the actual full-fledged Scarlet console, which is the big upgrade from the X, in 2020. It just goes to show that it's too much. Now, as far as them having software in 2020, I mean, obviously that's a given. In 2020, they're going to have software for the console because they need to for it to be able to launch a system. But we've been waiting since 2015, if I remember correctly, for Microsoft to even give a utter of new exclusives and new AAA
20,
studio games.
2016, 2016,
Hmm? We've been waiting since
2016. That's when it dried up. 2016, the end of holiday 2016.
okay. Well, you get what I'm saying.
That's when it
26.
really got sparse. And
Yeah.
there's been games. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Microsoft hasn't been dropping games. It's just they've not been at the quality and level that when you're asked to wait a long
Consistent.
time for titles and something like State of Decay 2 comes along and Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. These games are okay for those who like them, but they're not for everybody, and everybody waited for them. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
true.
Everybody
That's true.
waited, and when they came, they only appealed to certain groups of people who really like those games. I
Yeah.
think that's been the real disappointment. It's not that they haven't been releasing games. They have been, but they just
Just
haven't
haven't
been
been
releasing games
quality.
on the level that you've come to expect from Microsoft in the 360 era and what
Right.
Sony's been producing with the PS4. That's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah. When you hear State of Decay 2, you would think Left for Dead. Remember how they hyped it up? You would think it's the next Left for Dead, like from 360. And when it comes out, it's glitchy, it's broken. And it's crazy because if you look at the whole State of Decay affair and how it looks, you can walk around all that in the world. That looks very similar to what Sony did with Days Gone, but Days Gone has a completely different vision in terms of how they did it.
Yeah.
But you can get ambushed by the computer with all the zombies. They went
I feel
completely different routes, but that
I
shows.
feel I feel sometimes though, I have to be honest. I feel like sometimes I think we give Microsoft more of a hard time than they deserve, and I'm not defending them with this statement. I'm just going to
Mhm.
say that when they had the most underpowered hardware and they were being mocked on every social media format or forum you can think of, then they dropped the One X, right?
Yeah,
Okay, but people still weren't happy. Some people
of
still thought,
course.
well, now it has no games, but to a degree, it has games, but not maybe the games that you want to play. That's the problem. It's not what you want. There are games, but perhaps not what you want. But now they've invested in all these studios. I mean, 7 studios in 6 months. You know, that's more than 1 studio per month by my mathematics. And they're buying more studios, and they're really growing their infrastructure into the whole streaming online stuff. They're really making a concerted effort, and yet people are still complaining. Look, you can't have it both ways. You could complain about a company doing absolutely nothing, and I will stand with you, and I will protest with you, and I will be on your side. I will tell you, boycott that company. They're doing nothing for you. But Microsoft really are building a future. It may not be the future that you're used to. It may be something different, and maybe it will be successful. Maybe it won't be as successful as Microsoft hoped, but it's their risk to take. But at least give the company credit for buying up these studios and for giving you the options of all these consoles, right? Maybe 4 is too much. So I'm going to say that they're not going to release 4. I'm not going to count the diskless Xbox One S as a new console.
All the consoles that's listed are supposedly, because Scarlet is the project, so they're all under the same project, and it's all part of the whole planned infrastructure that they're doing for.
So to be kind of balanced in this argument, and as fair as I can be, just as a gamer, not really as someone who prefers PlayStation games, but just as a gamer, I would say that I'm only really going to count Lockhart and Anaconda as the main consoles that they're going to launch. Anything else is either a stream box or that repurposed Xbox One S with no disk drive. So I think we're even getting carried away with the number of Xboxes that are going to be available. Because really, if you think about it, there's only really going to be 2 next-gen Xboxes, Anaconda and Lockhart. The other 2 are bookends. They're not even part of the generation. They're just bookends. They're like, you got the lead singers and then the bookends who just dance. That's what they are.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not like Microsoft is going to stealth launch these other consoles like the diskless one and the refurbished Xbox One S that's going to basically be used for xCloud. It's not like they're going to stealth launch these into the market without any sort of advertising. They're going to advertise these, and that's why I'm getting this. As soon as them advertisements hit for these 2 new consoles, and then we go a year later, and then we got the advertisement for the actual Scarlet. That's where the problem lies when you have the advertising, especially for casual. They get confused. Like, well, what's the difference between that one and that one? I thought that one looks like this one. This one looks different. You know, it's going to look stupid. That's the problem.
I just want Microsoft to get busy next gen and put their foot upon Sony's neck, because Sony's got a very fat neck, and we need as gamers as much competition in this marketplace to keep prices low, to get deals, great deals at Black. If you think the Black Friday deals were good, just gone. Just wait until Microsoft has a level playing ground with Sony, and you see all the goods that Sony produced to keep up and beat Microsoft and continue. You know, it's always better when these 2 are very close in terms of output, quality, and sales. It's always better. And let's forget Japan. Even Sony's having a hard time in Japan, so Microsoft shouldn't have to worry about Japan, because Japan is a dying region when it comes to consoles. I'm sorry, they care more about portables and mobile these days. Even Sony's struggling in the region. Sony might even I can see one day actually. This is a wild shot. This is a wild shot in the dark, but I can see maybe one day that Sony just not bothering with consoles in Japan and really releasing consoles in the West and dealing with some kind of portable system for the Japanese market, because it's getting dire out there. When the Nintendo Switch is close to your PS4 lifetime base of nearly, over 5 years, and this thing's not even been out 2 years, and it's just 1 million units away from PS4's lifetime in Japan. Something's wrong in the home console space.
Okay, absolutely.
So the fight is going to be for the West. Japan, when it comes to home consoles, Japan is going to be very pivotal and important when it comes to producing games. But in terms of console install bases in Japan, that is dwindling and dying. That's a dead duck in the water.
Okay. One second. I'm going on these comments here. Shout out to, I'm not pronounced that. I guess say SS. I'm saying SS9. Shout out to SS9 for super chat. He said by the time Microsoft shows up, most people will own a PS5. Make sure I got everything up here, so I don't miss any comment. Okay, we're good. So scrolling down here, after I scroll down, Yeah, you made up a good point. You brought up a good point there. You know what I'm saying? It could make sense there. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the Japan.
How big is the
Nintendo's
console
already
market?
dominant.
Ryan, how big do you think the console market is? In
How
terms of
big I think
in terms of a total install base, how big do you think it is?
it's pretty big. It's got a
No,
pretty
it's not.
substantial
It's tiny.
the console market.
Tiny. Think
I
about it.
mean, what? Well, I
In
mean, if you
5
add
years,
everything up,
no,
it's
think
pretty big.
about it.
It's got over 100 million.
Think
Yeah.
about it. In 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
Sony's done about 90 million consoles, right?
About 90, and Microsoft supposedly is
Microsoft's
at
done
like
40. Let's just give them
yeah,
40.
yeah.
Switch has done what? 30.
Switch
Let's just give them
done
30.
like 30.
That's 160 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Including the Switch. And I know the
Right.
Switch has been out 2 years, but even if you let's say, give Switch another 30, right? Call it 60 million for Switch. Let's pretend it got to the end of its life cycle or close to it. So that's 190 million consoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing. That's nothing. The PC market is almost, well,
Well,
it's a
yeah, that's
billion.
the
It's a
story.
billion strong, right? More than a billion. And
I don't
Microsoft
think it's a
won a
billion.
piece.
It's like no, I don't think it's a
Let's
billion.
be
It's
honest.
Game Leader
Let
got
me
it's
just
770 mil for
No, well, I
PC.
don't know where those facts are coming from, but I'm gonna go with a billion because I
You
know
want to say
there's
what
a
a billion?
billion. There's 7 billion people on this planet, and at least 1 billion of them have a PC. Whether it plays games or not,
Okay.
I don't care. But the potential to play games is still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing: out of that 1 billion, let's say
Mm-hmm.
500 million play games regularly,
Oh,
not every day, but
right.
regularly, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That dwarfs the console market, and Microsoft know it, which is why they want to go everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And I said that. It's all been about profit for them.
So
How much
the
how much
console
can we get?
market is very small in the grand scheme of things. So, how many PS5s do you think Sony's going to sell next gen? They're not going to sell
Hmm.
more than they're not going to sell more than the PS4 will sell this gen. The numbers are
Uh,
going down, not up.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say numbers are going down. I would say that the numbers stabilized. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
No,
all
they're going
stable. But
down because the PS3 performed badly by Sony standards, so they're going down.
you said by
PS3
Sony
should not
standards?
be, yeah. PS3 should not be a measure of PS4
Mhm.
doing good. The PS1 and 2 should be the measure of PS4 doing good. And thankfully, it's creeping up to PS1 sales. Will it pass
Yeah,
PS2
PS1
sales?
does. Yeah.
I don't think it will. Although I did at
No,
the
no,
start of
no.
this
Well,
generation.
to be honest with you, to be fair, no console will ever launch and get to PS2 sales. The Wii was the closest, but the Wii was
But
not
why?
up there. Yeah,
Here's the
the Wii was
question though.
closest.
The real
Yeah,
kicker is you just said no console will get to PS2 level sales. Why?
yeah, no console
Because
getting
the
the PS2
market is
sales.
tiny now.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay.
growing. The market's not growing. It's not growing like how you would expect a console market to grow. If you look at from the great crash of 1983 when Nintendo reintroduced the NES and it took off in New York and then spread around the world, and Sega got involved with the Master System, then the
Mm-hmm.
16-bit era, 32-bit era, 64-bit era, it has grown from there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it hit a ceiling. I think it hit a ceiling during the Generation 7. It hit a ceiling
Mm-hmm.
because there's
Okay.
more options out there now. There's too much competition. Believe it or not,
Yeah,
we may
I
not
would say
like
you
mobile
answered that right
games.
there with the options and competition. Like
Right.
with the PS2, there was literally next to no competition for Sony. If you think about it, when they launched that console, when they had everything working in their favor, everything
Well, that's like this gen, isn't it? But because when the
very
PS1 was
similar.
out,
But
when
I
the
would say
PS1 was
that the
out,
market was even more thriving at that
no,
time too, though.
but when PS1 was out, Saturn, the Sega Saturn, was its competitor. And
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to how the PS4 has Xbox One as its competitor. One is doing exceptionally better than the other,
that's
right?
a good point. Yeah,
So
that's
it
definitely a
did
good
have
point.
competition, but what it
Mm-hmm.
is that it was a different market then. There wasn't the option of all these mobile games advancing
That's very
on
true.
the
Yeah,
demographic. You didn't have tablets then. The market has shrunk because the overall market has grown. So that's why the
yeah,
console market seems small because the overall entertainment market is so huge now. I mean,
yeah,
think about it. You would never have chosen to play on PC during the Sega Mega Drive era. It wasn't heard of. People would laugh at you.
yeah. That's very true. Very true. Gaming has evolved. Things have
That's why
changed drastically.
Microsoft is very shrewd with this business move. This is listen. Microsoft are trying to become the PC console, you know, I don't know, the PC console vendors for the next gen. They're merging these things together like blurred
I was
lines,
calling the
robbing Thicke.
blockbuster. Yeah,
You know,
pretty
that's
much.
what they're doing because they realize they can't grow the Xbox on its own by selling consoles. It's not possible.
So they
40
need
million
other
is
means to do
pathetic.
it.
Look,
Yeah.
after 5 years, 40 million is pathetic. Okay. And Microsoft
Oh
know
yeah.
it
Yeah.
and they know it. And so they're not going to do this same business model next generation. They're going to stretch out wide as far as possible, even if it hurts people knowing that the console exclusives are going to be available to even PS4 gamers.
Hmm.
If that's what it takes for your precious Microsoft Xbox brand to survive, you shouldn't complain because it's either that or they just die.
Right. Okay.
Not
Well,
Microsoft, Xbox.
to add on to that, I mean, look at what Sony did with like, okay, now what was it, 5 years? Sony's at over 90 million, Microsoft's at 40. Now you look at both particular side, one focused heavily and doubled down on single player experiences and actually, double down on exclusives. The other one went and pretty much split it up in three different ways. You had them go for streaming, you had them go for some first party games, and of course they went for multi-plats and hardware. So, I mean, I guess you
I'm
could say
expecting a fight next gen. I'm sorry. I'm expecting a huge all-out nuclear war. Not like
I hope,
fanboy,
I hope, yeah,
not in a fanboy kind of way. I'm talking about in terms of producing the goods, like whose games getting, where you're going to see all these adverts and commercials. Like Microsoft, I believe Microsoft are coming back strong next gen. They took an embarrassment, a major
yeah,
embarrassment this whole
yep,
generation. Are you telling me that Microsoft are going to continue with this method? No, they've learned from this. Phil Spencer even said that he wasn't in control of the OG Xbox One. That wasn't his product. And when it's not your
right,
product, you have limited control. He was the third party guy. He was
mm-hmm,
Shuei Yoshida.
mm-hmm,
That's who he
okay,
was, the Microsoft equivalent of Shuhei Yoshida, doing all the third-party exclusives, blah blah blah. But now he has the opportunity to put out consoles that he believes represents his vision and not somebody else's. And this is not me. I'm not trying to be a spokesperson
right,
for the man.
right,
I am merely paraphrasing what he has said himself. Okay,
right,
and I believe it.
right,
It takes a lot of guts to be that open and honest about yourself. That hey, it wasn't my product. I had limited control, and I know it's not the best product in the world, but this is what we're working with until the next generation. He said it many
mm-hmm,
times, and you can't knock a man for admitting that they got trounced.
right, okay. No, my reply to it, the whole situation is basically as followed, right? Um, I do wish the best for everybody. I do want competition. I do want Sony to have pressure on them. Let's be real here. Look at the 360 and the PS3. Microsoft was dead on Sony's neck, and Sony pushed out banger after banger after banger after banger for the PS3. Now, Sony has still delivered in that regard for the PS4, but you notice when Sony really was like, when their back was against the wall, you couldn't argue that games was not dropping like left and right. It felt like you had 3 straight years of games just dropping. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think we need, period. We need that type of competition. We need that type of pressure on Sony as well as Microsoft. They need to definitely deliver on those regards. Microsoft going the streaming / service route, again, it's fine if they want to go that route, but they still got to make sure what made them what they are, and it's
I agree.
games. You know what I'm
I
saying? You
agree.
can't lose your identity just because you're on this path to make money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like an old saying. What was it? You can lose women chasing money, right? But you'll never lose women chasing money or whatever. So that sort of thing.
Okay.
And
I'm going to pretend I understand the analogy. Listen. Listen. What I'm
what I'm saying is you can lose yourself chasing money. Okay. But if you stay
yeah.
with your principles and stay with your basically staying what made you what you are, you'll never lose money. That's what I'm saying.
Look, Microsoft
In that
could
regard.
fail with Xbox for the next
Yeah.
30 years, and it still won't destroy their company. They're in a
Oh yeah.
very
Of
different
course.
position to Sony. Sony's main bread and butter. Yes, they make money in other divisions, but let's be honest. PlayStation saved Sony. Let's be honest. But here's the thing: arguably, you could in theory credit Microsoft for the wonderful exclusives that you got to experience on the
And that's
PS3
what
towards the
we
end of
need
its
for
life.
next gen.
Would we have arguably, if it wasn't for the beating that Sony initially took, price and difficulty coding, would we have got the masterpiece that is The Last of Us? Would we have had the huge
Exactly.
investment into Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3? And would those games have carried on to the PS4?
The infamous series, right? The infamous series. Will we have gotten that? Will we have gotten the Uncharted? Will we have gotten the damn
Right.
Killzone?
So competition is great because it
Yep.
spawns excellence. When you
That's
need to,
exactly
when
what
you
it is.
know that you're in when you know your back is against the wall and you're in a bit of a hole, right? Rather than look down and complain how deep the hole is,
You're gonna
dig your
swing.
way out of the hole
Yep.
and come back harder, even when you're going bankrupt. Right. And people, you're the only one that really knows you're going bankrupt. You're the only one that knows about your finances, but you still have to project an image of wealth and success, or you will become even broker than you ever imagined, because it's all about perception rules reality. Perception is reality. I could walk around in a nice, expensive Hugo Boss suit, right? The best
Yeah.
shoes ever, right? Best shoes ever. Michael Kors watch, whatever, right? I could look like I'm coming from old money, but I might only have $1 in my pocket.
Right.
But that nobody knows what's inside the man. Nobody knows what's inside the woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
projection is reality. Is what you project. That's the reality of it all. That's whatever you project is your reality. If you project a miserable self all day long, guess what follows you around all day long? Miserable negativity. So
Yep.
what I'm saying is that Sony did exactly that. When PS3 was under pressure, they were selling off all of these different assets to make sure, taking pay cuts. Nobody was getting bonuses. None of
Yep.
the top brass were getting bonuses for years.
Mm-hmm.
Kazurai turned it around, and he did it by projecting strength. Like, we're still going to invest in these big ass exclusives. We're still going to invest. We're still going to do this. We're still going to do that. And guess what?
Yep.
It worked.
Exactly. Exactly.
It
And
worked.
that's true. And when you have the pressure of constant competition in a market that was flooded, like the 360 at the time,
Yeah.
obviously you were going to get some amazing results in the process. Now, so many people will argue, and I think you already know where people come from with this, where they say that, well, those games didn't sell crazy well. And that is true. They didn't sell crazy well at the time, but you can't argue that the games that we gotten have been built up tremendously from those games. Those games were the starting point of something greater. The Last of Us Part 2 ended the PlayStation 3 gen on such a high note that many people were demanding and crying for a sequel. And they were looking forward to the sequel. And when we finally got that epic reveal of Ellie playing that damn guitar, and we saw Joel, right, that silhouette of Joel,
Right.
you knew that greatness was most certainly upon us. Just look at God of War. God of War had so many iterations on the PlayStation 3. We had God of War 3, we had God of War Extension, and something it was another one they had right for the PlayStation 3 or Vita or something like that, but it was another one. After that, many people wondered how, like, especially when we got the clickbait or the sequel bait for the God of War 4. A lot of people were questioning how in God's name could they make another God of War after he just killed all the damn Greek gods. And then here we go, God of War 4 for the
Oh man,
PlayStation
the
4.
world is full of
Complete.
thousands of gods. If you
Yep.
go to India, there's like a million
Oh
gods
no,
in India.
there's
Go
different versions
anywhere
of
and
God.
kill gods.
Exactly. There's
Plenty of gods
so
to
different
kill.
iterations
Believe
of
me, you
Jesus.
never run out of gods to kill. There's plenty of them.
Yeah. There's so many iterations of Jesus Christ. He's black, he's white, he's a six-armed God. This is one religion. I mean, what I'm saying? It's always a different God, but people weren't expecting God of War 4 to be such a big, thing. And that's what I'm talking about, where Sony built upon that. But a lot of this you have to credit to Microsoft for pushing Sony to invest in those things, to want to future-proof themselves.
Yeah, so in a way,
And
you can thank Microsoft for the goodness
yeah,
that you've received on PS4, because they were pushed into that position. They were pushed. They
yeah,
knew they had to work hard, and they did. And this is the result of success. PS4, the
yeah.
result of hard work, sweat, labor, great research, talking to developers. What do you want? What should we build? Here's the budget. What can we do for you? Not knock. Heaven's knocking on my door. We're all enjoying Spider-Man. Bob's your uncle.
Yep. That's true. and not
That was
much else
complete
need to be
nonsense.
said.
I mean, look, nobody in their right mind can dare call themselves a gamer and say they want Microsoft to fail out here.
Yep.
Come on now, be sensible. Because when there is only one monopolizing everything, then they dictate prices. They dictate proprietary hardware that you have to buy through them. Look, when Microsoft thought they were the golden nugget of gaming with the 360 because they were transferring PS3, they designed that box that you could even add your own hard drive. It was all proprietary. Even with the PSP, Sony got carried away thinking they could release a console that charged you $90 for a bloody memory card. Now, come on, this is what you call when a company is doing too well and they become complacent, not thinking about the consumer, thinking about how much money can we squeeze out of them. Sony got a very harsh lesson in the PS3 generation, and Microsoft's lesson is now. So I suspect next gen, as consumers, we will be the better off.
Yeah. I hope so. I would hope so.
And people should stop hating on
everything.
Xbox. People need to stop hating on Xbox as well. It's an inanimate object, man.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Hating on something that can't, it's got no life. You're hating on something plastic. Dude.
I mean, some
plastic.
people, some people protect it like it's a woman, though, right? Like, there's even some that called it a woman.
I don't know. I don't recognize those people. I don't even know who they are or who you're talking about.
Just so you know, they're
not in my circle. They might exist, but they're like ghosts to me. I don't even know they exist until you mention them. I don't know these people. I never see these Twitter because I block all idiots. I mute all idiots. So I really see very. I tell you, the only tweets I see these days are sensible tweets.
Yeah,
I have blatantly screened every idiot. You don't even have to be on my page. You could be someone that I'm following, and I see your stupid tweet through them, and I'll mute you. Because if that's your mindset, I don't really want to see it. So, it might mean that I'm losing a lot of love on Twitter, but sometimes you have to go through the pains to grow again.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess someone ended with this particular question. Game Nader actually brought this up, and I do see this a lot too. Do you think Sony will make the big mistake they did with the PlayStation 3 and overprice / miss pretty much advertise the PlayStation 5?
Say that again, because you did kind of bot in a few places.
I'm sorry. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I heard most of it, but you cut out.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. What I was about to say was I'm gonna end the stream with this question right here. It's a question that's going around quite a bit, and I've been seeing a lot of people ask me this in my comment section. I'm pretty sure they asked you in your comment section as well. But do you think Sony will indeed repeat the same mistake they did with the PlayStation 3 with the PlayStation 5? And basically, in terms of advertising and how they actually go about it.
What pricing?
Is that possible? Well, pricing was well too, yeah. But yeah, the advertising was off too with the PlayStation 3. I mean, come on, they had a creepy baby solving Rubik's cubes.
Oh, that's because they let a European advertising firm do it. That's why.
Really? Oh, wow, that was creepy. Like Play Beyond. I remember that commercial.
It was a very abstract, arty marketing firm they use. They don't use them anymore.
I don't know.
The type of marketing firms you see in parfum adverts and those weird kind of esoteric adverts that lean towards all types of different things. But yeah, that's because they used one of them. But that was a long time ago. Well, in terms of price, I don't think that Sony can screw up because basically Anaconda is going to be more expensive than PS5 and more powerful. So it should be more expensive. So whatever Sony releases the PS5 at, it's still going to look good compared to Anaconda's price. Even if Sony drops theirs at $499, Microsoft's probably going to drop Anaconda at $599 in order for there to be a significant power differential, right? It's going to have to be at least $100 more.
You actually believe that too, that it could be a $600 contract?
No, I don't believe. I believe that Microsoft can charge whatever they want for Anaconda because it's totally high end and they're not counting on that to be their main breadwinner. As I say, Lockhart will be their main breadwinner. But in terms of Sony and PS5, no, Sony's a very consumer conscious company since the PS3 beating. So I don't think they're going to repeat that. I think that they're going to look to release around the price that the PS4 Pro released, $399, or at max $449. But I don't think they'll get to $499. I don't think so.
Okay. What's up, Matavella? What's going on? Everybody hit that like button. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I agree though. I do agree. They don't necessarily need to rely strictly on the Scarlet in general because they'll have a less expensive option, which we don't even know the price of that. Could that be a $400 price model? Probably. We don't
And let
really
me just
know.
add, let me just
Yeah.
add. Someone mentioned Mark Cerny in the comments. Quite a few people.
Mhm.
Yes, you are indeed right. Mark Cerny has a knack of being able to architect machines, systems that perform way
Mhm.
above what they are really purposed for. He has a knack of squeezing exactly, what is required for the type of game engines that Sony have going at a very low price point. Because if you see what he's managed to do with the PS4, don't forget, is 5 years old, people, older than 5 years old. Okay. And, Death Stranding is going to look amazing on it. So is Ghost of Tsushima. So Spider-Man looks great on it. What's the difference between a base PS4 and a PS4 Pro?
Mhm.
Slightly few more frames per second where it gets dodgy. So, it may be smooth, get an extra few more frames, and it's approaches 4K, not quite like 1440p upscaled. That's the only difference. You're getting exactly the same game. It's still pretty on the base PS4. It's still very pretty.
Right.
So, you know, and that's 5 years old. People were saying that the PS4 was underpowered and weak and crap
Of
before
course.
it even hit
Yeah.
the retail shelves. And 5 years later, we're getting visual spectacles like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And look
true.
at Spider-Man compared to Infamous Second Son visually. It's on a different level.
Oh yeah, and gameplay wise and visual wise, definitely.
It's on a
Yeah.
different. I mean, I love Infamous Second Son, so I'm not knocking
Oh
it.
yeah,
I'm
the
just
water
saying, look at
effect.
the jump from the first party titles for Generation 1 to the end of the generation.
Right.
You
You can
know,
clearly see the improvement, especially
look at The
from
Last
particle
of
effect.
Us
Yeah, all
Part
that.
2. Look at The Last of Us Part 2 and compare it to a PS4 launch game. What, like, Killzone Shadowfall. I know they're very different games, but you can still compare them visually, right?
Oh yeah, of course, of
Look
course.
at the
Yeah,
difference.
of
It's a
course.
totally different level. Because for
Yeah.
some, Mark Cerny has this ingenious way, and the man is a genius. I don't care what anyone wants to say. The man's a genius in his
Yeah.
field. He has a way of taking like affordable hardware and having it perform above and beyond what you expect it to do.
Yeah.
And he's proven that with the PS4.
Yeah. The problem with Mark Cerny at times, especially when he does like interviews, is like he makes these weird faces at the camera. That's all it is. That's all Mark Cerny's problem is. He's making these weird faces. But yeah, he is a
Yeah,
genius in his
geniuses
own way.
have quirks, though, don't they? Every genius has his quirky, aren't they? In one way or the other. They always. That's what makes them stand out, right? He's very
Yeah.
animated in his face. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
He speaks very articulately, so every muscle in his face is used. Whereas some people speak very lazily and hardly
I
move
mean,
their face, so they don't pronounce words properly.
yeah, I remember when he came out with the PS4 back when we first got the reveal in February 2013. Remember when he came out with the controller and he's like, yes, the DualShock 4, and he started going over here what DualShock 4 had in terms of upgrades. So
I tell you what, when he's not wearing his glasses, he can look terrifying because he has these piercing eyes. No, he has these eyes that scream serial killer. But obviously,
he
he's not.
do,
Obviously,
he
he's not.
do.
Obviously, he's not. But I think that comes down to his glasses because if you look at Rudy Giuliani, that twat, if you look at him, when he's speaking with his glasses off, his eyes suddenly go bulbous because I just think he's trying to like I don't know. It's like a lens trying to, focus in without the glasses. So Mark Cerny has that issue as well. But that's just because he wears glasses. He probably hasn't got contact lenses in. But yeah, I have seen some stills of Mark Cerny that aren't very flattering. If you saw them in a lineup, you'd say he's guilty. He did it. But the man's a genius all the same.
Yeah, I want you to. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when it comes to Mark Cerny. I mean, I don't know if you've seen these, but it's just like this is what I'm talking about. Like the dude is cool. He's a genius and comedy gold in every sense of the way.
He's very
But when it
humble as
comes
well.
to faces, yeah. When
He's
it comes
very
to
humble.
faces, you can have many like there's so much going around with Mark Cerny. Can you see that on screen?
Yeah, but you know what? I think he's effeminate. That's what it is. He's just an effeminate, laid back, very calm, mild mannered, humble type of guy. And I think we need more people like that in this world, you know? Like there's
Yeah,
too many angry folks out there, man. Chill, relax, man. Life is you only got one life to live, man. You know,
absolutely.
you only got one shot here. You know, wherever you go afterwards is your business, but you only got one shot down here. So just
Mhm.
enjoy each day, man. If you're gonna walk around angry all the time, you're missing the whole point, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm not
Absolutely.
gonna knock the man for being happy and calm. I knock people who are aggressive and miserable. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's true. You do.
Well,
Okay.
Sony's doing well, man. He's got a nice contract with Sony, man. I think he made a ton of money on the architecting the PS4 and Pro, and he's
Mhm.
doing the PS5 as well. So that they like Sony, and ironically, a Japanese company's top selling console is made by an American or designed
Right.
by an American. The irony in that,
Hmm.
there's just irony because you know people like to say, "Oh, Japanese consoles. Who likes
Oh, oh,
Japo?" People are
yeah.
very, you know, just not very polite about Japan sometimes. But
Yeah.
look, the top selling console in the world is designed by an American. So let's stop
Yeah.
being xenophobic. And the car you're driving is a Toyota and a Nissan. Why are you complaining about Japan? You like the car,
Right.
don't you? Shut up.
Right.
Enjoy the car. Big deal. If you
All
wanted a
right.
Buick, you should have bought a Buick.
Very true. Very true. Question for you directly from me. Are you buying the Soldier Boy game console?
I honestly, I wouldn't buy a Soldier Boy anything. I never bought one. Bought one of his tracks. I never bought one of his tracks. I never bought a song. So if I'm not going to buy his music, I'm not going to buy anything else. No,
That would
and
be
it's
damn
disgusting.
hilarious.
It's
Powered
disgusting
on.
what he's doing. It's
Yeah.
disgusting what he's doing. He's just one of these
Hmm.
opportunists who's trying to make money in any area he can, and unfortunately, he's giving the whole industry a bad name because
Right.
this is blatant. This is blatantly like drop shipping, price gouging nonsense, right?
Right.
Okay, and he knows he can get away with it legally because he is not the one producing the console. It's done in Japan where the laws are very different when it comes to copyright and patents and trademarks and stuff. So he knows they can't do nothing to him on a legal basis. They can't even stop him from selling it because he's having it shipped from another country.
Yeah.
He's not got a warehouse full of them. You order it through
Right.
him, he overcharges you, then he goes to the site and gets it cheaper where you could have got it from anyway, and then ships it to you that way.
Right.
It's a
I
scam.
mean, it's what's ridiculous about it. Like I can actually see something stupid happen. Like when you hit the power button and you just hear this fool go "yo" when you turn it on.
I heard there's not even anything to do with him on the packaging. He just posted on his website, Soldier Game, but when you get the actual package, it's got nothing Soldier at all about it. It's cheap, bro. It's cheap. It's a cheap way of doing things. That's like imagine
It
I
is.
was to buy up all. Imagine I was to like order up all of these Android type consoles, right? The
Uh-huh.
obscure ones that a lot of people don't know about, right? And because I
Right.
think a lot of people don't know about it, I put it on my channel, my website, whatever, and sell it to you marked up by $100. Like that's evil. That's like you're saying, you know what? I'm a failure in the rap game, but I'm gonna screw everybody in the console game.
Facts. Facts.
And I don't
Absolutely.
want to knock his hustle and sound like I'm hating. If I wasn't
Right.
a gamer, I might have a different point of view. I might say to him, "Yeah, man, that's your hustle. I ain't hating on your hustle, but I am a
Of
gamer,
course.
and what you're doing affects really everybody
Your
because
hobby
you're
and
gonna make the
everybody's right.
they might change the laws because of this. It might get harder for other people who are legitimately trading. The procedures might get harder because of this one dude or people like him blatantly
Yeah.
ripping people off, unsuspecting customers,
Right.
and the product's not even good. And he's
Yep.
got the cheek to say he's working with Ubisoft in partnership with Ubisoft. Now he can be sued for that because that is a blatant lie, and
Yeah,
there's
he's
proof.
really trying to take advantage of it. If that's true, Gaming Nader, apparently he's trying to get esports teams
They can
involved with
sue
the
him for
console.
false representation, really, because he's using Ubisoft to
Yeah.
sell the products, right? And there's no
Yeah.
agreement between him and Ubisoft. So they can get him that way, but they can't do him for the consoles themselves because they're not produced in the United States and they're not shipped from the United States, and no business
That's
is
very
really
true.
being done in the United States. They can't stop you from giving money over PayPal.
Right.
You know, it's not like he's
That's
selling
very
it in
true.
a store, and he's never going to open a store with those consoles in it. I guarantee you, the minute that store is opened is the minute it's closed.
Yeah. No. The market's funny though. It really does act funny sometimes. Like we might call it a fail, and then it end up becoming a big thing. So
Listen, I'm not supporting that. I'm
I'm not
sorry,
either, but
and I would encourage everybody to not support that dude. How can you sell something that's weaker than a Nintendo Switch? Pretend it
yeah.
costs $649, but you're giving it on a sale for $399. Oh, how kind of you! Some poor mother is being ripped off right now, thinking she's doing her son a favor.
Completely. It's
And when
insane.
that kid gets that console on that day, she's not going to get a refund. And the kid's going
Yeah.
to be mighty upset. Mum, this is not a PS4 Pro. What is this
Yep.
Razer thing?
Better off getting the Atari box at that point. You know? So
Well, I tell you what, that wouldn't happen in the UK
yeah.
because we're tight here. Tighter than frog's ass. There's no way that would pass here. In America, it's different because China and America, you got your trade war thing going on as well, which is they pretended is going away. So, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of politics involved, which I'm not going to get into. But hey, if he can get away with it and people are stupid enough to not do research and just order these things from him, more power to him. I think people need a lesson in an education in being wise. And if he's the one to teach it to them, let it be.
Yep. So true.
But I would never do that to people. Never. Never. If anything, I want people to get it as cheaply as possible. You know, obviously I want to make money as well, but you know, you can make more money via volume than bulk. But, like you can make more money selling in volume, as in bulk, than selling like at a hugely extortionate price. And then you're only shipping like maybe 3-4 consoles a week. I don't know how many he's selling, but let's say he's doing 3 or 4 a week or one a day. I don't know how many he's doing, right? But if you
Right.
sold it where you only made like $20 on it,
Mm-hmm.
like you'd sell a whole lot more of them. It
Yeah.
take you longer to make your money, but at least you can do it without any provocation. And you know what I'm saying? At least you won't
Mm-hmm.
be, people won't hate you for it. Because that is a scummy thing to do, dude.
Yeah.
That's worse than those people selling the crappy PlayStation 1 classic.
The cheap
For
off.
like
Yeah, the cheap
someone sold
knockoffs.
it, someone selling it for $500 on eBay, and it's like 50. You can buy that for 50 UK pounds now because it's doing so badly in stores
Yeah.
that they regret even ordering the damn thing, and they're trying to get rid of them now.
You remember the remember the Japanese knockoff PS4? It basically looks like a PS4, but it had the top of the Xbox One at the OG Xbox One. It had the top grill to what the fans remember that shit.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like it's too much. No,
Apparently, someone's saying that Soldier Boy has made nearly 1 million. Yeah, but 1 million in what though? Revenue or 1 million in value? Like the amount of consoles he
yeah,
sold adds up to 1 million.
right.
Because at the end of the day, like, and he could be, I don't know, he tells so many lies, right?
Yeah,
He's like that other kid that said he was on a private jet, and it turned out he was in economy, right?
yeah,
He's like Bow Wow. Like they tell so many lies because they're no longer getting like, you know, I think they haven't got the same clout that they used to have back in the day, right? If they ever had clout. But anyway, they haven't got the same clout that they once enjoyed, so they need to feel relevant and stay relevant. So they make up these BS lies. So I can't believe when he says he sold 1 million, it could be in rubies. We don't know what currency he's talking about. That 1 million could equate to like 1,000, you know, in somebody else's currency. We don't know
yeah.
what he's talking about, but of course, you know, he's going to tell you he's doing well because it projects success, and then people buy into success. That's
Mm-hmm.
the suckers in the world. They buy into this success. They think, oh, this guy's doing so well. Let me invest in him, and the guy could be a charlatan.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Listen, it's not for me to
I don't
tell
want to
people
remember
what to do with
everybody
their
the big
money.
lie, which was the Ouya last gen. Remember that Ouya?
Yeah, but that was a legitimate product
It was legitimate
that
product, but
failed.
we bought into the lie that they
I
had
didn't buy it.
everything
I
worked
didn't
out.
buy it. I didn't buy it. I was never interested in it. I had the good sense
Yeah.
to know that nothing that small could possibly Give me the
run all
level of
the
enjoyment that I'm
yeah.
getting on the current console that I already own, which is the
The
PS3.
biggest lie and the biggest insult of that console, it wasn't even the console. You know what it was? It was that controller. Remember how she said the controller was built off of the feedback of every gamer or something like that when the console came out. Everybody hated that controller. Like,
Yeah.
so many lies, so many.
Can I ask you
But
to do me, not me a
oh sorry.
favor, but just do the community a favor.
Sure.
Try and curtail some of the negativity that people come out with, you know, in your chat. Like, try and encourage them, man. Like, to stop shitting on console brands, because that's not how you affect change. Complaining and trolling doesn't help anybody.
Right. It
Like,
all
you
comes
know,
down to your wallet.
we need to think of each other as one collective community instead of being segregated as, well, I'm an Xbox gamer. I'm identifying myself as an Xbox. I identify as a PlayStation gamer. Well, I identify as a Nintendo. Screw that, man.
Yeah.
That's not who you are. It's just entertainment, dude. Just
Yeah.
enjoy it for what it is. You don't need to like put down somebody, and most of the time they're not really putting down the brand. They're putting down the people that enjoy the brand. That's the
Right.
sad
They're putting
part.
on one another. Yeah.
It's just because you chose to buy a different console to me doesn't mean you have the right to shit on that person, man. People buy what they want with their own money because they enjoy what they want with their own money. Yeah, if you make a mistake, well, yeah, we all make mistakes in purchases. But at the end of the day, if you're happy with what you have, why is it
Mm-hmm.
anyone's business? And why do people feel the need to tear that down? We don't do it over cars, do we? We don't do it over, oh, your TV. We don't go as far over TVs and vehicles and houses. You know, oh, my bed's got a better bed stand than yours. Look at your bed stand. It's tiny. Your head must
Mm-hmm.
hurt at night. Do you know what I mean? No one does that. So why do we do it in the console space?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I think Corey Simmons there said it the best. A lot of people like drama and they do this extra, they go the extra mile to get drama, basically. A lot of
Even
people love
silly.
it.
I'm all for a bit of banter because I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love the banter, right? From the
Right.
16-bit era, the 32-bit era, right up to now. I love the banter, but sometimes it gets silly and childish and immature and personal. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
does. It really borders on like stupidity sometimes, and I feel like, how long can you go on being an idiot? Like,
Right.
really, it might have been funny at the beginning of the generation, maybe a couple years in, but now it's just pathetic. We're leaving this
Yeah.
gen. Get over it. We're
Yeah.
going to reset to zero. Yeah, we're resetting to
Yeah.
zero. Let's encourage each other as gamers.
Yep.
Like that way, we can educate each other as well to avoid bad products like the Soldier Boy console.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe we can help each other rather than hinder each other, because this is just silly. And it boils down to a bit of plastic and preference. Big deal.
Yep.
Sorry to be
Very.
a buzzkill, but you know, I'm trying to stamp it out. Like when the gamer couch comes back,
Trying
there'll
to make
be
a
none
movement
of.
here.
No, but let me tell you something. When the gamer couch comes back, there's going to be none of that nonsense. None of that fanboy nonsense. It's over.
Right.
It's over. I'm done with it. I don't want people coming on the gamer couch specifically to bash Xbox or defend Sony or hate on Nintendo. It's done. You know,
Right.
yes, we should criticize bad moves in the industry. Of course we should, collectively.
Yeah.
Let's not use it as a weapon though. Let's not weaponize it.
Yep.
Yeah, banter's one thing, but come on. Sometimes it goes a bit overboard, you know? But like I said, I love everybody, regardless of the platform you enjoy. I don't care if it's
Mm-hmm.
Gears or God of War. You're playing games, and you're my kind of person.
Yeah. Well said. Well said indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the stream. I think we done knocked everything out of here. Big thank you to Foxy Games UK. I know a lot of you guys asked for him to get back here. He's here. He's still gonna be here on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Foxy, go ahead and shout yourself out, my brother.
Yeah, huge shout out to everybody. You know, at the end of the day, someone in the chat quickly said, but people will be people. Well, that's a sorry, lame excuse. That means you're saying you have no control over your own emotions, your own
Mm-hmm.
thoughts. You got no control. You're saying other people control your thoughts. If you're gonna say people are people, You are in control of everything that comes out of your mouth or whatever you communicate from your fingers. You're in control. If you're saying people will be people, then you are telling me that you have no control over anything you do. But I still love you and I still respect your comment and everybody else. You know, massive shout out to everybody, regardless of your platform, portable, mobile. I don't care. If you play on Fisher Price toys, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And play games, not corporations. Shout out, subscribe to my channel, Foxy Games UK. And let's make 2019 a real competitive year for everybody, not, getting on this segregation type nonsense. Don't identify with the console, identify with life.
Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ryan the Professional. If you guys enjoyed the stream, hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and hear us talk about the information regarding the PlayStation, as well as, go off on a few, a trip down memory lane, so to speak, with stuff that's happened in the past. But definitely, at the end of the day, we do it because we love gaming and we love to talk gaming with you guys, whether it be on Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. Doesn't matter. It's all about gaming at the end of the day. And, no, like Foxy said, a lot of people just need to get off this mentality that everybody must be at each other's throats. We need to be one cohesive unit that, speaks. And I've said this in numerous videos too. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people just don't demand better. That's what I'm talking about by demanding better, but do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Speak with your wallet. Don't go racist and talk about people's families. Don't do all this. No, that's not how we make change. If anything, that's how you prolong change. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well said, bro.
And
Well said.
yeah, that prolongs change. When you're attacking somebody's family because that person is an executive of Sony, you're not making a difference. You're making us all look bad, and you make the hobby and the very thing that we stand for look like that much more of a joke. And that's not what gaming's about. Gaming is what Mark Cerny said back in 2013 when he first brought up the policies of the PlayStation 4, and that was about fun. Gaming was always about fun, and that's where gaming needs to go to. And I already talked to Foxy off the scenes, but there is massive changes happening to the RGT podcast. We are most certainly going down our same route. It's time to be more than just what we are. It's fun, and Foxy will tell you it's fun after a while, but after when you do it for so long, you tend to realize that you're not really doing much now, are we, Foxy? When you do that, no.
It takes a lot of energy being mean. You don't know what you're doing to yourself. Every
Yeah.
time you're mean and negative, what you don't understand how much you're poisoning yourself. You are literally poisoning yourself.
Yeah.
Because that low energy level that you're on, you might feel like you're having a good time, but it's negative. And that's some dark energy. And all that's doing is aging you. It's actually aging you. Don't be surprised in 10 years for all your miserable antics that you look like you're double your age. Believe
Yep.
me, smile more, think happy thoughts, and you will, believe me, life will change for you.
Absolutely. As far as this channel is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, the channel will most certainly be taking a different turn for the better. It's time for all of us to talk about games and ignore the elephants at the door that, are basically speaking propaganda. It's time to
And
do
let me
that.
just add this. It's okay to disagree. We can't always agree. And that's what
Absolutely.
makes us unique, that we have a different opinion. What makes the fundamental difference, though, is how we apply those opinions, how we express those opinions, and what are our intentions. What is the intention when we are expressing that opinion? That is the key point. Of course, you can disagree. If you see bullshit, you should call it out, but you do it constructively to have a positive outcome, not to get into a fight and a war with somebody, then end up blocking them. What a waste of time. What a waste of energy.
Yep.
And some of you probably go ahead with the rest of your day thinking about that moment. You pretend you're not thinking, but you are, because guess what? It had an effect on you. You might not realize it, but you will think about it. It had an effect on you. Negativity always does.
Absolutely.
Peace and
And
love to you all, always.
absolutely. Nothing but love, and respect to my brother here, Foxy. Like you understand, it's like my best friend, one of my best friends I made here in this community. And as it goes to show though, we were two random people here on different sides. He went a different route in terms of telling his news. I went my different route. But as you clearly can see, we can talk like brothers. We can talk like gamers amongst you. And the example that we're setting is that you can do the same regardless if you own an Xbox, Switch, or PlayStation. Doesn't matter what you own. All right. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, again, hit that like button. Appreciate y'all for stopping by and joining us. Big thank you to the brother Fashi Games UK. Definitely tune in to the Gamer Couch when it eventually comes back in 2019. You already know you'll see me over there, and you'll also see Foxy here on the RGT at Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, whenever he can make it. But thank you guys so much for everything, and we'll definitely see you guys later. All right.
Namaste. Namaste.
Hmm?
I was pretending I was a Buddhist. Carry on.
Oh my god. He had to cut it into it. But that's it. So you can play us when I interrupt him, but he does. Oh, it's funny. Anyway, we're out of here. Thank you guys so much again, and y'all be blessed. Later.